Finally, the Jordan 4 Military Blue is here, but was it worth the wait? Let's talk about it. It goes without saying that the Jordan 4 is one of the most classic sneakers of all time, and Jordan heads out there all love an OG colorway. The Jordan 4 Military Blue, or officially Industrial Blue as it's called, is one of those. And in 2024, we finally got them in their truest form to the original, this time also with the Nike Air logo on the back. And contrary to what the internet seems to think about this pair, I'm very happy to add this to the collection. Let's start the review. So these officially dropped on May the 4th for a retail price of $215, and in Europe they retailed for 210 euros. Lots of rumors about what the stock numbers were for these. The highest number I saw was 1.7 million pairs worldwide. I've been saying this for a while. It does seem like Nike's new strategy for Jordan Brand seems to be mass producing the few pairs that they know will sell out, like the Bread Reimagines, like the Military 4s, because they do very desperately need the revenue from these few pairs to make up for all of the other models that are just not selling anymore. As you may know, Nike is having a very tough year financially speaking. Will this overproducing strategy eventually come back to hurt the brand? I don't know, but as a sneakerhead, I am pretty happy that a lot of the very nice Jordan releases this year have just been very easy to get. And these right here is Exhibit A of a pair that I have wanted for a very long time. In fact, this pair right here is my favorite colorway ever of the Jordan 4. It's not the Breads, it's not the Fire Reds. For me, it's always been the Military Blues, and I've always just felt like it's been missing in my collection, so it's great to finally have these. Many of you might have been able to in fact complete the OG collection of the Jordan 4, which includes the white cement as well as the Fire Reds and the Breads. Now we know that the color on this pair, the Industrial Blue, is definitely different than the one that dropped in 2012, which was a much lighter shade of blue. I asked you guys on my Instagram actually which of the two models do you prefer, and it seemed the pretty big majority of you chose the 2012 version, even though this pair right here is a lot closer to what the OGs look like. And all of you longtime Jordan fans are probably laughing at the group that would rather have the 2012 pairs over these. But that poll right there is proof that what matters the most about the shoe is the looks. And I think people just seem to prefer the way the lighter blue looks on that model, including myself. But I do really appreciate what Jordan Brand still managed to do with this shoe. If we look at the 4 times now that this shoe has dropped, it's very clear to see that this 2024 version really resembles the original the most, especially from a shape point of view. You'll notice that the 2012 version has much less of a slant on the toe box. It's a bit of a flatter toe box, whereas this pair right here, it's definitely chunkier looking, and you'll notice that it does have much more of a slant, and it at least seems to be a bit of a higher cut as well. So even though I do really like the color on the 2012s more, I do actually much prefer the shape on this one. When I opened up the box on these, my first thought was, hold up, this upper is not white. I thought it would be. Instead, this upper looks a lot more gray than I expected. It's much closer to a light gray than white. And on top of that, it seems to have like a bluish tint, which you can clearly see. That bluish gray tint is definitely most visible on the rubber wings of the shoe. And I actually think that tint looks fire on this colorway. You got the white cages with the blue mesh underneath, which looks great. Like, I'm reviewing these in real time and I have to pause every now and then just to admire how nice of a colorway this shoe is. I sometimes wish Michael Jordan was drafted to like the Philadelphia 76ers, just because we would have gotten a lot more blue Jordans than red over the years. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I do think blue actually looks a lot better on most Jordan models than red. You got the Nike Air logo on the back, and who doesn't love that? It looks super crispy there, done in white. Now with this sneaker, the biggest issue that people seem to be having with it is the quality. Pretty much every YouTube review I watch of the shoe is quite negative, speaking about the quality. On my pair, I will say I'm lucky that there weren't really any flaws that I could see. There's a very tiny bit of stitching being loose here, but other than that, there's no scratches or creases on my shoe, which I know is not the case for all of you. Some of you have in fact sent me pictures of the pairs you've received which came pre-scratched or pre-creased, which is definitely unfortunate. If your pair came like that, I do hope you can get a replacement. And as far as the leather goes, yeah, it's not great. It's not the best quality leather. But I have to say, I don't really understand the overreaction to this leather, which I believe is happening in the sneaker community. Yeah, this leather is not great, but it's 2024. Jordan leather has not been good for over a decade. The leather on this pair really isn't all that different from pretty much every other GR Jordan that has released over the last several years. If you are like me, waiting for a long time for these to drop, you really like the colorway, then go ahead and buy them. They're gonna be pretty easy to get, and you're gonna love wearing them this summer. Moving on to sizing, I did get this in my true size, which is a US 11, and I will say that they do fit a bit more snug than some recent releases, especially a bit more snug than the Jordan 4 Bread Reimagined, which I thought fit great right out the box. This one right here, the leather is soft, it's not stiff leather, so I don't think that's the issue. I just think maybe it's a bit narrower of a cut, because I definitely felt my little toe hitting against the edge of the shoe, but still it's not tight enough to make me want to go up half a size. Even if you have slightly wide feet, I don't really think you need to go up half a size here. They do fit a little bit snug. I do hope they break in well over time, because I'm not planning on sizing up on these. The SB4s for me were still my favorite fitting Jordan 4s that I've worn recently. And comfort wise, this is also something I don't really understand about the reviews I've seen about this shoe. There's really not much to discuss when it comes to comfort. Jordan retros are not comfortable. If you've ever worn any kind of New Balance pair, any Asics pair, and then switch back to Jordans, you know exactly what I mean. There are levels to this. This shoe, the midsole feels super stiff, just like any other Jordan 4. And also I have to say that this pair comes with a very thin insole, which is unlike the insole on the Jordan 4 SB. And it's also a smaller insole than we saw on the Bread Reimagined. So from a comfort point of view, if you just want to compare apples to apples, Jordan 4 to Jordan 4, I would say these are less comfortable than some of the recent Jordan 4s. Speaking of SBs, actually, in 2025, we're supposed to be getting the Jordan 4 SB Sapphire, I believe they're called. And if you look at this pair, it does look very similar to the industrial blues. And some people might say it even looks better because of those gum details. And it is an SB Jordan 4, so you can expect it to be more comfortable. So if you were maybe a bit on the fence with this shoe, then you could consider just waiting it out until next year and get yourself a pair of Sapphires. I was also kind of thinking about that. Maybe I should pass on these and just wait for those Sapphires. But then I thought, nah, I've been waiting too long to wear these. I want to wear them this summer. So I do plan on keeping these and rocking them. By the way, were you guys interested maybe in an outfit video with these? I haven't actually worn too many Jordans lately, so an outfit video would actually be a pretty fun challenge to do. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that. And of course, if this is your first time here on the channel, which I highly doubt, but if it is, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm dropping tons of content every week. I've started to drop vlogs. I've also started to do more outfit videos. Follow me on Instagram as well. That's where I am the most active. At JDKick6 is the handle. And do not forget, of course, to check out my podcast, The Kickback Pod. All of those links can be found in the description. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.